2-3. The Columbus Blue Jackets were winners yesterday as they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-2. Columbus scored 3 goals in the third period for the victory. Boone Jenner hit the equalizer to force a 2-2 tie early in the third period. It was the 5th goal of the season for Jenner. Columbus is now 4-2 on the season. The victory snaps a 4-game losing skid for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets are back in action tomorrow at Washington. For lightning fast sports updates as they happen, download the free Score app today. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by the Score on Western Reserve Radio.
Save on stuff you really need and stuff you bought for fun. Stuff you always really wanted this holiday at Amazon. Stuff that is discounted if you're naughty or you're nice. Stuff to buy your grandma who drinks her Chardonnay with ice. Stuff to make you big and strong. Stuff we can't name in this song. Stuff for lawns and decking halls. Save big on stuff at Amazon. Stuff.
Ever get out of bed in the morning and just hurt? Me too, and it's no way to live. Like me, you've probably tried pain relief creams, and most of them didn't work. Ready for something completely different? It's Capseva. Capseva is a scientific breakthrough in joint pain relief that has the medicinal power of capsaicin without the burn and smell. Capseva is homeopathic with natural active ingredients and comes with a money-back guarantee. That's why Capseva has hundreds of 5-star reviews. Lose the pain. Get Capseva now at Meijer and Kroger Pharmacy.
Hello, Phantom fans, and welcome to Season 6, Episode 6 of the Dump and Chase podcast. I'm Sam, and with me as always, and as it turns out, if you say their names 3 times, they will appear, Justin Irwin and Dan Conley. Gentlemen, I guess this technically will be the Halloween episode as it's releasing on Halloween Day. How are we doing?
Spooktacular.
Happy to be here.
Did AI write that for you, or?
No, unfortunately, I came up with that on my own.
Well, we'll kind of start this off in the Halloween spirit. So first, I want to ask both of you, in your opinions, what is the best trick-or-treating candy there is, and why is it Reese's Peanut Butter Cups?
Chocolate and peanut butter. I mean, dude.
I disagree completely. I'm a Kit Kat guy. Simple, straight to the point. Give me a break. I mean, not that I would throw Reese's out of the way, out of the bag or anything like that, but Kit Kat's what I always went to first.
I'll throw in a little Halloween memory here. When I was little, I would always go to my grandparents' house to trick or treat. Like where they lived, it was all these houses in like this giant, like mile long circle. So we would just go right around this circle, hit all the houses. Well, my grandfather would be the one handing out candy at their house. And my grandmother would always yell at him because he would sit there and try to sneak the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, and she wouldn't let him. No, those are for the kids. So what my grandfather would do, he would take because they had like the giant plastic bowl that they would hand the candy out in. He would actually take the Reese cups and like bury them and hide them down at the bottom of the bowl so the kids wouldn't pick them. And then as soon as the time hit when trick-or-treating was done, like as soon as the clock struck that time, he'd get up, turn the porch lights off, shut the door, and take the bowl of candy back and dig the Reese cups back out from the bottom again.
It's like the buzzer in hockey. I mean, if the puck crosses the line before that, you're good. After that, nope, not like basketball.
I just don't feel like kids today earn it when they go out and trick-or-treating. I remember what was it, 92, 93? We got that snowstorm on Halloween. I'm out trick-or-treating in like 8 inches of snow.
Sam, don't be that old guy.
Don't
be that old guy right now.
I had my Superman costume like underneath my snowsuit.
Dan, shut up.
As he's saying that, though, I completely remember this Halloween.
Like, yeah.
I remember this.
So do I, because I was like 15, 16 and, still trick-or-treating, but nobody would give me candy.
You're because you didn't dress up.
Dan was still getting pushed around in a stroller at this time.
I was like 6.
And getting pushed around in a stroller? What was wrong with you?
I dressed up as a baby. No,
Oh.
I just
All right. So I guess we can get into the hockey stuff now. Some news we want to put out there. Andrew Strathman picking up an assist on the second period on Friday, passing Ryan Loney for most points by a defenseman in Phantoms history, giving him 49 in a Phantom sweater. So congratulations to Andrew Strathman. And I tell you what, the kid really knows how to celebrate. He goes and gets suspended for 3 games.
We'll see him next weekend.
Yeah, he got suspended from a play that wasn't even called a penalty.
That's why it was 3 games. My understanding is there was an injury involved, so it is what it is.
Because it was kind of hinted to us that it was going to be 2 games. So I don't know if that's what they were being told, and then it changed. Because remember, we had this situation with Jacob Fowler last year.
Yeah,
he was suspended for 1 game. He was told, and he told us, he was told himself that he was suspended for 1 game, and then all of a sudden, just somehow it turned into 2.
I was told initially 3, and they thought that upon appeal, because the play wasn't called and et cetera, but the league is what it is, and apparently it will be 3 games as it stands.
And then Charlie Lieberman, he gets ejected from the game on Saturday, 34 seconds into the game. So I don't know if he had somewhere to be that night or what was going on there, but 34 seconds of the game, Charlie Lieberman was ejected. We weren't sure on that one. We thought maybe time served since he missed pretty much all of the game on Saturday, save for the first shift. Apparently the league did not see it that way. He was suspended 1 extra game on Sunday. So we should be seeing him back this weekend.
He didn't have a record, I should say. Yeah, I thought that should have been time served. I mean, he did cross-check a guy pretty blatantly, not trying to make a play. I don't think there was an injury involved.
He did pack some action in that 34 seconds. So he had 2 checks before that, pretty big time checks, and then the cross-checking at the very end.
I think that kind of played into it, because I think that second one, it did not look to me like he was really trying to make a play for the puck. He was just trying to hit somebody, and then he throws a cross check. And I mean, I'm sure the league looked at that, but
it goes down as a 1-game suspension, but it really did get 2.
Yeah.
That's
what we thought. Maybe they would just end up giving him time served, but no, it ended up not being the case. I mean, taking it back to some good news. Phantom's 3-game weekend, ending up coming out of it 5 out of 6 points. Bumping themselves up to second place in the Eastern Conference, only trailing Dubuque right now.
And I mean, they're 3rd or 4th in the league?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All around a pretty positive weekend, especially, we were a little concerned about that Sunday game to begin with before the suspension. So, I think we got out of that with pretty good momentum, and next week is another challenge.
Yeah, that's hot start. It's not really something we're used to. Yeah, I don't think I'm sure all teams would say we're not playing our best hockey yet, but there's still a ton of growth that this team has to make throughout the season. And we're already playing comparatively to other teams at a relatively high level. So that's really good to see.
And again, we're talking about this at the end of October.
Right.
Yeah.
Phantoms right now after 12 games with 17 points. I believe last season it was something like 17, 18 games before they hit that mark. 6 games less to hit that mark this season. So fingers crossed. Here's the hoping. if there's going to be a lot of, if it's going to be, comparisons to last year, that's a good way to start.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long season, but we're off to one of the better starts we've seen. So,
yeah. All right. So coming up in this episode, again, we will be recapping this 5-point weekend for the Phantoms, this week's edition of 4 points, and we will be previewing the Phantoms 2 games at the Cavelli Center with the incoming Tri-City Storm. And before we go to break here, of course, just very quickly, we wanted to mention, our thoughts go out to the family, friends, and teammates of Adam Johnson. Freak accident in a game taking place in a professional league in England. Former Pittsburgh Penguin, former Sioux City Musketeer. There's really not any new ground we're going to break in any of this, but definitely, again, the friends, family, teammates, former teammates, the Sioux City organization is definitely in our thoughts with that. So we're going to go ahead and step aside for a minute. The weekend recap is coming up next right here on the Dump and Chase podcast. podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Whether you are a professional football champion or a fantasy football champion, Martusio Chiropractic is the place to recover from all your sports injuries. Proudly serving Trumbull County, Martusio Chiropractic is located at 369 Niles Cortland Road in Warren. Martusio Chiropractic accepts most insurance plans, now accepting new patients and offering some same-day appointments. For more information or to make an appointment, call Martusio Chiropractic at 330-856-9595.
Hey, football fans, don't miss the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey at the Cavelli Center in downtown Youngstown. The Phantoms are preparing for the upcoming season as they take to the ice to defend their Clark Cup championship. With over a dozen highly touted prospects on this year's roster, the road to the NHL clearly runs through Youngstown. Purchase season tickets, group tickets, and individual game tickets now by calling 330-747-PUCK. That's 330-747-7825 or go to youngstownphantoms.com. Clark Cup champion! Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and haluski. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532.
This is Voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, and you are listening to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
We're back with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio. So again, this past weekend, the Phantoms having 3 games, 2 of those with the visiting Sioux Falls Stampede, and the third game on Sunday with the visiting Madison Capitals. So we're going to kick it off with the game on Friday against Sioux Falls. That was a 4-3 win for the Phantoms. As far as goals in this game for the Phantoms in the first period, Ryan Botterill with 2 power play goals, giving Youngstown a 2-1 lead after the first period. In the second period, Torrey Pittner with what we'll be talking about a few times in this show, what we will be referring to as the helmet goal. Kuzma Voronin, Dan, I'm sure this was something you were very happy about. He finally gets his first of the season. Phantoms come out of the second period with a 4-2 lead. The third period, no goals for the Phantoms, 1 for Sioux Falls, but the Phantoms were able to hold on for a 4-3 win. Owen Bartoszewicz in the game, stopping 34 of 37, his 6th win of the season. So right away, and we kind of laid it down last week, not that anybody was listening or we were any motivating factor, but talking about the Phantoms power play needing to pick it up. That first period, Ryan Botterill picking up 2 power play goals. Great way to start the weekend.
Exactly. I mean, we've mentioned before that the power play has not been good. I'm pretty sure everybody has mentioned this. I'm sure that was a huge weight off of a lot of people's chests.
Yeah, and it seems like Botterill does. He just seems like he scores goals. He's always in a good spot, and he's got a heck of a shot on him. And I'm glad to see now some of his hard work is bearing fruit now in a big way for the team.
Yeah, very underrated hockey IQ there.
Yeah.
And then Dan, like I just said, Kuzma Voronin getting his first of the season. This was a player that led to a lot of the initial conversations between me and you before you warmed your way onto this show.
Right. I thought last year when he played for us, the games I saw, he was one of the better players we had on the team. Yeah, I don't know exactly what all happened, but I'm glad to see he's back with the team, and he's been working hard. I'm glad to see his hard work finally paid off, got a goal. He's been so close many times.
Brings a lot of energy into the lineup.
And he's such a good forechecker, too. He just doesn't play. Yeah, he just doesn't have an offensive game. He creates a lot of opportunity. I'm sure when he scored that goal, he's probably a little bit of weight off that shoulder.
And then Torrey Pittner loses his bucket in a scrum behind the net. I guess broke a strap or something. Goes over, gets a replacement from the backup goalie. We'll go more into this later. Comes off of the bench with that helmet, puts it on. I believe my comment was, well, if he scores a goal, he's keeping that helmet. He scored a goal, and we will discuss that helmet later.
And this was a game the Phantoms held the lead throughout, but at the same time, it was a close game. Sioux Falls is a good team. It's not, they were as advertised coming in here. It was just Phantoms were able to get to their game faster, was able to dictate play. Owen Bartoszewicz, 37 shots faced, 34 saves. He had a hell of a game.
Right. I don't want to say this is going to sound like a dig on him, but when he's playing goalie, he's almost like Flubber because every time the ball hits him, it just sticks to him. He doesn't give up a whole lot of rebounds. The the puck hits him in the body. It just stays with him. It's pretty cool to see.
We're really racking it in hard with the 80s and 90s movie references in this episode.
Well, that could be what, 60s? Flubber?
That was a remake in the early 90s.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Just because you were around in the 60s doesn't mean...
Well, in spirit, man.
In spirit, yeah.
Sam got called an old man, so we had to call somebody else old man.
That's right. Yeah, the only one on here older than me. All right, so moving on to the game on Saturday. Again, with Sioux Falls, this was a 6-3 win for the Phantoms. And these 3-game weekends are so much fun to recap. Getting into the first period of this game, Braden Clark picking up a shorthanded goal. Mikey Burchell with a power play goal. Miles Gunty picking up a goal with the Phantoms taking a 3-1 lead into the second period. Ryan Rusinski in the second period picking up his first USHL goal. Congratulations to Ryan. And Luke Osborne picking up an assist on that goal for his first USHL point. The Phantoms coming out of the second period with a 4-2 lead. So I'm going to stop right there for just a second. That kind of begs the question, does that puck get cut in half, or how does that end up working there?
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Because you got first USHL goal and first USHL point. Who gets that puck, or do they just slice it right down the middle?
Ask Smitty.
Yeah. To log that away for Smitty. So as far as Phantoms goal scorer in the third period, Hunter Ramos picking up a goal. Grant Young with the empty net goal, which I'm sure he felt pretty good after zonking the goalpost there on his previous attempt. Was able to bury that second attempt for Grant's first USHL goal. And when it's all said and done, giving the Phantoms a 6-3 win. As far as the goaltending, Colin Wynn in net, stopping 30 of 33 in the win, improving his record to 2-2 on the season with a 3.5 goals against and an .878 save percentage. Right off the bat, I will say far and away Colin Wynn's best game of the season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's one he was probably very proud of. We've commented that the team doesn't play a whole lot of defense sometimes in front of him. I'm not going to say that was any different this weekend. I thought we gave up some chances and he stepped up to it.
Yeah, and even Coach Ward said after the game, this confidence-wise, this was a game that he needed, and you saw that confidence level growing as the game went on.
But going forward, I would still like to see the team play a little better in front of him.
Yeah,
right.
Not that this was the worst we've seen. I mean, we played fairly well, but I mean, Sioux Falls is a decent team, and they got their chances.
Yeah, I think Wynn's confidence kind of leached into the rest of the team as well. So I think as the game got going on, just like you said, Wynn's confidence went up. I think the team kind of bonded that and fed off of that and really sealed the game towards the end there. It was close. I thought the Phantoms played their best game on Saturday night, and I thought Sioux Falls played a very good game too. They just kind of put it away there at the end of the game. Didn't have to white knuckle the last 5-6 minutes like we have been. But Grant Young getting his first USHL goal. He's another player. He works so hard off the puck. He does a lot of things that don't go on his score sheet. And like Sam said, he careened the first one off the post. Somebody else, I can't remember who it was, hit one off the side netting just outside as well, just before that. So same thing as Verona, and he got a big sigh of relief getting that first goal in there.
Yeah, and the kind of the amazing thing, and I don't recall seeing it this early in the season, but if you actually go and look as far as the stats for the roster, I think it's down to only maybe like 2 players left, not counting the goaltenders. But like only 2 players left on the roster that don't have a point yet this season.
Yeah, Lieberman and DeHaro.
Yeah, we're talking about that 12 games into the season. We're down to only 2 without a point.
And I mean, there were a lot of guys logging a lot more ice time this weekend. I mean, I thought Brecken Smith was a lot more noticeable out there. Ruchinski got his first goal, but he was doing a lot of work out there, beside that.
Rusinski, you're going to get me in trouble.
Rusinski, yes.
I'm going to get a message. You're going to get me in trouble. Rusinski.
Okay, Rusinski. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, just everybody was contributing, and it was a team effort.
That kind of correlates with what Sam had in his 4 points last week of things he liked about. He talked about how everyone's contributing last weekend, and it's the same thing this weekend. And when you play a 3-game series over a weekend, you need that in order to get results in the game.
So, I mean, the guys who made the score sheet and the guys who, didn't show up, everybody, I think, contributed to the 5 points we got out of 6.
Yeah, and Dan, to your point, as far as Brecken Smith, he is somebody I feel like I'm hearing his name and noticing, like, it just as every game goes by, I'm hearing his name more. I'm noticing him more on the ice. He's turning into somebody that we're really going to have to keep an eye on as this season progresses.
Yeah, I believe he was the captain for the Little Caesars team he came from. Obviously, he was a leader on that team if he was that. And he's kind of really coming into his own now. And it really got things started when he led that. He put that perfect pass to Braden Clark on that shorthander. He let Braden use all the space in front of him. And Braden did a great job of putting that puck in. And that really set the tone and really got things going for us that game.
All right, so you would think having the second place team from the Western Conference coming in, getting a couple wins, that in itself makes for a good weekend, and it did. The cherry on top of all this would have been picking up 2 more points on Sunday. Ended up not being the case, but the Phantoms were able to get 1 point out of it with Madison coming to town. Phantoms losing this game in overtime 4-3. Now, after the game on Friday, talking to Coach Ward, I had asked him about this being the team's first 3-3 weekend of the season and the younger guys who aren't used to playing that type of schedule, just kind of like his messaging to the team, especially the younger guys, about what it's going to be like having to play this 3-3. And this is what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Like for us, we gave them 2 days off this week and had a really light day Wednesday. So we're just trying to conserve energy and making sure that the guys are good. We've warned them whether they heed that warning about making sure they rest and recover and do everything right off the ice. That's up to them, and we certainly try to provide the necessary knowledge and sustenance for those guys. But at the end of the day, they have to go through it and they have to learn, and that's what being a young player in the league is. And you got to go through it, and the next time they go through it, they'll understand how hard it is and what you have to do. So we just got to. Getting the win tonight, the first win of the weekend, was huge for us, and we're going to go through it together.
All right, there we go. And thank you to Coach Ward for that. So yeah, it's talking about having enough gas left in the tank for the game on Sunday. Much as I hate to say it, there was not much left in the tank.
No. The old adage goes, they always say next man up in situations. We literally went next man up until we had nobody else left.
Yeah.
Everybody who was a scratch, I feel like we carry a pretty big roster, pretty big scratch report. They were either suspended or they were injured, and we had nobody else. We actually didn't have a full roster to bring to the game on Sunday, and that was pretty evident. We ran out of gas, but they still fought hard. And I thought when I was watching that game Sunday, I was thinking about what Coach Ward said during the season ticket holder party pickup, where he said there's 2 things he can guarantee. That one, these players are going to give everything they have, and no one's going to outwork them. Madison was in the same situation we were in almost. I thought they played well. They were down 2 goals in this game, and they came back. And I thought it was a very good effort, and I was proud of the team.
All right, yeah. So as far as this game, the first period, 46 seconds into the first period, Torrey Pittner gets the party started, giving the Phantoms a 1-0 lead. That would hold through the second period. Not through the second period, but until the second period. Madison tying the game at 1 in the second. Going into the third, the Phantoms go down 3-1, and then Adam Patilla just completely decides to take over, welcoming back the concept of the Youngstown bounce at the Covelli Center, picking up a power play goal, and then tying the game shortly after that at 3. The game would go to overtime. The Phantoms spending probably about the good first half of that on offense, but not really getting much out of it, and it's just kind of that feeling of impending doom because we've seen it so many times before. Just holding possession. Madison is able to get a break out of their own. James Hong picking up the game winner for Madison in overtime for the 4-3 final. Owen Bartoskevich in this game stopping 22 of 26, taking the overtime loss, dropping his record to 6 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime loss, with a 1.73 goals against average and a .941 save percentage. Now, I use the analogy, both teams, a lot of this game looked like they were skating through mud. Justin, you said wet concrete.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were seeing the effects of a lot of young guys for the first time having to play, a 3-3.
There are things, I'll go into this later, maybe I think we could have done, better as a team. And like Coach Ward said, they have to learn this. And, sometimes the only way you can learn is by getting burnt. And pretty much, I think everybody, after we didn't score on the first or second shift of overtime, kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, I thought Torrey Pittner getting his first goal here really sparked us going into the game. But I thought about it when he scored this goal. I thought about what Sam had said after the Fall Classic, how the team was on Pittner watch, waiting for him to get his first goal. And here he is now. After that, he's now tied for the team leading points.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 4 goals and 7 assists. So he's doing his part on both ends of the rink. So he's fun to watch this year. That's for sure.
Yeah. And like I've said, I mean, so much of our offense seems to be coming from the back end, and then to see, a guy like Strathman out 2 games this weekend and, we're still putting up points. Just a lot of, overall positive. The only negative is we lost in overtime, 1 game.
Right.
For October for the Phantoms, that's phenomenal.
And I thought Adam Patilla, he plays the game like he's hangry. He's hungry to score a goal and he angrily goes at it. And as I'm watching him, like little scuffles here and there after the play is over, I'm thinking I would have loved to see him and Chase play on the same team. But at the same time, I don't know if we could have handled that.
No,
I don't know if the penalty box is big enough for that, or if Fisk could have lasted long without getting broken. But man, he plays the game in a way that's fun to watch, and he's a spark plug at all times.
We were told Adam was going to be like Chase, only more goals and more penalties.
Yes,
yeah.
And
that was from Chase.
Yes, that was from Chase. And I mean, he is fit the bill to a T, and I love it.
Yeah. He didn't take a single penalty this weekend.
No.
Maturity and growth.
And
he'll make up for it.
You're right about that. And that goal that James Hong scored for Madison too, it was a crazy play. I don't know if you saw it, but him and Moran kind of got tangled up.
Yeah.
And Zach just kind of like fenced his stick away and threw it. Then the play carried on to the other side of the ice, and then Hong goes away from the play, picks up his stick, and here he comes back into the play. And of course, he's wide open when that happens because why not?
Yeah.
And that's how they score the game winner right there.
It was the Youngstown bounce. We were being punished for that. The hockey gods had everything in balance. We were being punished for the Youngstown bounce with Patilla's power play goal.
Yeah. They giveth and they taketh away.
Yeah.
But we got a point.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, it'll be time for this week's edition of 4 Points. So keep it here with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Jesse's Dairy Cove is a hometown favorite, located at 3743 State Route 46, across from the gazebo in Mineral Ridge. Enjoy all of your favorite ice cream. We have over 32 hard scoop and over 40 soft serve favorites. We also have a large food menu, including homemade chili sauce, sloppy joes, pulled pork, fresh cut French fries, and mac and cheese. This fall, we'll start our homemade cookie and party trays. Visit our website at jessesdairycove.com to see our menu. At Jesse's Dairy Cove, we appreciate your business.
Sandrock Concrete specializes in all types of concrete, driveways, sidewalks, basements, and garages. We also do stamp-colored concrete in many different designs. We do interior and exterior stonework, regular brick and block work. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured. Call Jerry Sandrock at 330-506-0013 for an estimate. Also find them on Facebook at Sandrock Concrete LLC. Sandrock Concrete, where you deal with the owner all the time. Mill Creek Golf Course has been the Valley's leader for golfing fun since 1928. It features 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Rossman, was voted a top 30 municipal facility by Golf Week in 2012. The Mill Creek Golf Shop is a certified Callaway Golf custom fitting center and is stocked with your favorite golf apparel and accessories. Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for this year's golf season. Please call us at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
With over 30 years of experience, Madurix Butcher Block in Mineral Ridge is a quality-driven company focused on great personal service. Our fresh meats are of the finest cut. We make a variety of burgers, sausages, and a full line of deli meats. Using our own smokehouse, we prepare different types of jerky, snack sticks, kibasi, bacon, hot dogs, and bone-in hams. When your tummy needs some relief, call 652-BEEF. That's 330-652-2333.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken. And when I want to catch up with Youngstown sports, I tune in to Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Welcome back to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio. So for listeners new and old, 4 points is where we break down the previous weekend into 4 categories: what we liked, what we didn't like, favorite moment, and the Dump and Chase podcast 3 stars of the week. So this week, Dan, it's your turn at the moderator's desk. So why don't you go ahead and kick it off?
All righty. Sam, why don't you tell us what you liked?
A nice little tennis match going there. What I liked this weekend, more going to the 2 games with Sioux City, it was Youngstown coming out, kind of imposing their will, forcing Sioux City to adjust to Youngstown's play. And that's something we don't see as much anymore that we used to talk about so much in the past. It was always Youngstown coming in and reacting to what the other team was doing and kind of these slow starts and everything else. But in both of these games, you saw Youngstown come out. You saw them dictate the play. You saw them dictate the flow. And it was Sioux City, making the trip in here and, having to make adjustments on the fly, to try to hang with Youngstown. And again, just something that was such a problem in the past. It's just, even still that we're kind of used to it now, it's just so refreshing to see. Because again, Sioux City coming in, this was a good team coming into the Cavelli Center. And one other thing I realized that I wanted to bring, I could have brought up earlier, I had completely forgotten about. The Phantoms on Saturday almost had the Mario Lemieux hat trick. They had the even strength goal, the power play goal, the shorthanded goal, and the empty net goal. They were just the shootout, the penalty shot goal away from the Lemieux hat trick there. So
yeah, we got that last weekend.
So close to that on Saturday.
All right, Justin, what tickled your fancy?
5 out of 6 points. As Coach Ward alluded to earlier, young team, you can prepare them as much as you like. This is the first time we saw them on a 3 and less than 3 day weekend. And to scrap their way back, tie that game up on Sunday, pick up that extra point. Yeah, everyone wanted to see an overtime win. But to get 5 out of 6 and obviously a life lesson there, I think we did pretty damn well.
All right, now we're going to move on to things we didn't like. Sam, you're up first.
Yeah, what I didn't like, it kind of feels like it's starting to reach the point with the Phantom special teams. It's kind of feast or famine. Of course, most of the season, as far as the power play is concerned, it's been famine. Really picked it up this weekend, was really refreshing, really nice to see. The Phantoms power play going 4 for 12 over the weekend. That's at a 33% clip. The downside to that was the penalty kill, which has been so steady this season. And has been playing so incredibly well, only going 11 for 15 on the weekend. When you're talking about a team that was, 95% and above coming into this game, the entire season on the penalty kill, 11-15, that only comes out to around 73%. So you see the power play pick up, but, you score 4 power play goals, but you give up 4 shorthanded goals. So everything just kind of wipes itself even there. So I guess going forward, I guess consistency on both ends I'd like to see. I'd like to see the power play continue to do what they're doing. Penalty kill, maybe a little bit of an off weekend. At the same time, remembering, Andrew Strathman was not in 2 of these games, and that's one of their big time penalty kills. But yeah, keeping that in mind. But again, just that mentality of, next guy up.
I'm hoping with Serrato coming back too, I'm hoping he's going to help out the power play as well. So. All right, Justin.
Yeah, what I didn't like, that Sunday game, and this goes to probably lack of experience. I think we would have done a lot better if we had tried to slow that game down a bit, maybe force a few more face-offs. Like what Sam said earlier, in past years, we have been more, chasing the opponent, reacting to what they do. I think we were trying to match pace with them on a game where we didn't have a lot left in the tank. Maybe just try to slow that game down a little bit, get more face-offs, maybe a slightly different outcome. But again, we did get 5 out of 6 points. I'm just nitpicking at this point.
All right, it's time for our favorite moment. Sam, why don't you start it off?
Yeah, this is, and I think ever since we started doing this, anytime there's something like this going on at the Cavelli Center during one of these games, this always ends up being my favorite moment. Trick-or-treating with my two youngest sons, 13 and 7. 13-year-old, not so much. I think he got a cookie and a bag of chips when it was all said and done. But getting to take the kids trick-or-treating through the concourse. Again, the Phantoms did a great job of putting it together this year. You know, Sparky's out there. The little short Phantom was out there. A couple other dressed up characters out moving around there. You know, when they put these events together where it's just kind of not only getting to sit and watch a game with your kids, but just kind of these little extra things. It just feels like, you know, the office just keeps knocking it out of the park time after time after time after time. So yeah, as far as, you know, everything this weekend, definitely my favorite moment.
All right, Justin, what was your favorite moment?
The moment Torrey Pittner went over, grabbed a helmet off the bench, and I'm like, you know what? If he scores in that helmet, he's going to keep it. Sam, read it.
Yeah, we wanted to talk to Torrey after the game on Friday, after the game on Friday to ask him about it. Didn't get the chance to. I didn't stay after the game on Saturday. I had to get the kids home, so basically had to go the old-fashioned way. Thanks to social media, and I have Torrey's permission to go through this. So I asked him about, you score a goal, you had Colin Wynn's, helmet on there, and I asked him, did you keep the helmet? He said, yes, he did. And I thought maybe he's joking, seriously. And he's like, yeah, I was just lucky, I guess. So I asked him, did it fit? And he said he had to tighten it a bit because Colin has such a big head. So,
and we're going to assume that is a physical thing, not he is a goalie. Yeah, I just wanted to say I called that one. When he went over to the bench, he grabbed that, and I'm like, if he scores in that, he's going to keep it.
And much love to Colin Wynn's big head because I'm in that same club.
On the opposite spectrum, I have a very narrow head. I'm not going to say it's not a big one, but it's hard to get a hat to fit. I can only imagine what a hockey helmet would be like.
Maybe Sam and I were turned more as babies when we were laid down.
Yeah, I have the hats all my hats that have like the Velcro back on them. There's so much like exposed Velcro. I always end up with like the little dust bunnies and stuff stuck in the Velcro because there's so much of it exposed that I'm constantly cleaning out because apparently, unbeknownst to me for half my life, apparently my head is enormous. So, Colin, I feel your pain. Usually it's in the neck from holding this thing up.
All right, now it's time for everyone's favorite moment. It's the Dump and Chase 3 stars of the week. Our third star of the week is Ryan Botterill. He had 2 goals and assists this weekend, and he got things started off with the 2 power play goals on Friday to kickstart the weekend for everybody going forward.
Second star of the week, Adam Patilla. 2 goals and assists, 2 goals in the third period on Sunday to get us to overtime. He's been, one of the scoring leaders pretty much all season, but I think the work he did there to get us to overtime was, just amazing.
Well, yeah, you guys talked about the energy he brings to the team. The energy was in very short supply there towards the end of the third period. I think just kind of that fluke bounce off the boards, and he was there to knock it in on the power play, getting the Phantoms within 1. I think was kind of able to bring out what energy the team had left. And then of course getting the game tying goal. So
yeah, just parking in front of the net.
Yeah. All right. So the Dump and Chase podcast, first star of the week. Of course, no argument here. That goes to Torrey Pittner. 2 goals, 4 assists on the weekend, including a 3 assist showing there on Saturday. And then Torrey being named the USHL Defenseman of the Week. So congratulations, Torrey. So, picks himself up an award he hasn't won before, and he gets a new helmet out of it. So it was a good weekend to be Torrey Pittner.
Agreed.
All right, so that will do it for this week's edition of 4 Points. The weekend preview is coming up, so stick around with us right here on the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
If you are seeking a skilled photographer in Northeast Ohio with experience in capturing documentary-style photographs for various occasions such as family events, weddings, graduations, sporting events, and other special occasions, look no further than Colleen Moore Photography. Accessible via ColleenMoorePhotography.com, or she can be reached at 330-314-7547.
SNK, painting your house today. SNK, painting your house.
SNK Painting provides exceptional painting and refinishing services to the Mahoning Valley and surrounding communities by being an industry leader in our field, focusing on customer service and delivering extraordinary results. We offer interior and exterior painting, and we specialize in cabinet refinishing with affordable cabinet solutions. Call SNK Painting for your free estimate at 330-505-1910.
SNK, painting your house today.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Shining Stars Dance in Baton in Niles, Ohio is home to state, regional, national, and international world champions. They offer a wide variety of classes for ages 2.5 and up for boys and girls. Celebrating over 31 years in business, the excellent staff of instructors will help take your baton twirling skills to the next level.
This is Voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, and you are listening to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
We're back with the Dump and Chase podcast right here on Western Reserve Radio. So to kick off the weekend preview, we'll be taking a look around the Eastern Conference, what will be happening this weekend, starting with Friday. Muskegon traveling out to Des Moines to take on the Buccaneers. Green Bay will be up in Chicago for the first of 2 games in that series. Dubuque traveling to Fargo. Omaha will be heading to Madison. Cedar Rapids taking off to Sioux City. Then on Saturday, Cedar Rapids going from Sioux City to Lincoln. I believe, 3 Eastern Conference teams playing split weekends with Western Conference teams. Cedar Rapids, kicking it off there at Lincoln. Muskegon will be traveling to Waterloo. Dubuque heading to Sioux City. Green Bay and Chicago, the second game of that weekend series. And Omaha at Madison, which will be the second game of that series as well. Leading us to this weekend at the Covelli Center, the Tri-City Storm coming back to Youngstown for the first time since January 17th and 18th, 2020. Of course, the Phantoms played the Tri-City Storm. That was the first game of the Fall Classic. The Phantoms losing that game 2-1. Tri-City coming into the weekend with a record of 7 wins and 5 losses for 14 points. Youngstown coming into the weekend with a record of 8-3-1, 17 points. Again, that is good for second in the East. Tri-City, as far as the special teams, 14th on the power play in the league, 4th on the penalty kill. Youngstown, a couple spots better in both regards. 12th on the power play, 2nd on the penalty kill. So this is a team we saw the first game of the season at the Fall Classic, making the trip back to Youngstown. This is now apparently flying is a thing now this season. We just recently learned. So I don't know if Tri-City is going to be busing it or they're going to be flying, but this is one of those kind of 2 furthest points in the league type of deals. The easternmost team in the league and the westernmost team in Tri-City. It's going to be an interesting one. We kind of saw where Youngstown was the first game of the season. Now we kind of get, a month or so into the season, kind of get to see how far they've come along.
Yeah, I guarantee they're better than they were that first game. I mean, it's kind of hard to not be, but Trevor Conley, I'm not just saying this because he's got the same last name as me, just one extra N. He's a fantastic player. Yeah, I think they're going to pose some challenges to the Phantoms, but if the Phantoms come out firing on all cylinders, I think they'll take care of business this weekend.
I mean, the Phantoms, disregarding Team USA, are the youngest team in the league. I think we've learned and matured a lot since that first game. Yeah, I think all bets are off.
All right, so Dan, you bring up Trevor Conley. Currently, Tri-City's leading scorer, 15 points in 12 games. August Falloon is leading the team in goals with 7 goals in 12 games. Tri-City's goaltender, Cameron Corpy, coming in with a record of 7 wins, 2 losses, 2.15 goals against average, and a .919 save percentage. So as far as the Phantoms, you don't want to say shorthanded, but like you said, kind of depleting the healthy scratch list to fill out roster spots this last weekend. Looks like we might be seeing some relief. Again, Charlie Lieberman will be back from suspension. Andrew Strathman, we're expecting to be back on Saturday. We've kind of heard some rumbling. We may see both Charlie Serrato and Brandon Svoboda back for these games as well. So huge lineup boost for coming from those 4.
Yeah, I mean, they've been out for, a while. So obviously they will be getting, their game legs back. But I don't think either of Serrato or Svoboda, I don't think that's going to really be an issue. Those guys are always ready to compete.
And guess who else will be coming back to the Covelli Center this weekend?
Delayed a week.
Jake Rossi, of course, was with the Phantoms last year, was traded in the offseason to Madison. Kind of a strange little deal there. I believe he had like 8 points in 5 games with Madison, was a scratch for 3 games, and then was traded to Tri-City. So we kind of were looking at, seeing Jake Rossi back when the Phantoms were in Madison the week before. He wasn't in the lineup. And then thinking he was going to be coming back to Youngstown this past weekend, ended up getting traded before that. So, yeah, like you said, delayed by a week, but we will be seeing Jake Rossi make his return to the Covelli Center this weekend.
Yeah, that's something my oldest son, Big Game Rossi, was his favorite player last year. So he was upset he didn't get to see him this past week. He's happy he gets to see him this week. I'm hoping he gets to see him lose twice this week as well. So,
yeah, we wish him the best of luck, just not next weekend.
That's I hope he's doing well. I hope he's getting comfortable in his new digs. I hope he regresses a little bit this weekend and then picks up his form next week. All right.
We love you, Jake, but, sorry.
Yeah. All right. So both of these games with a 7:05 puck drop. Of course, if you don't have tickets yet, you can reach out to the Phantoms box office at 330-747-PUCK. That is 330-747-7825. Or you can go to youngstownphantoms.com. Also, if you cannot make it to these games will be broadcast on Flow Hockey and on Western Reserve Radio, on Facebook, on Twitter, on the Youngstown Phantoms Facebook page, with voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, on the call. Now, to kind of round this out, actually, no, I should also mention the game on Saturday night is Military Appreciation Night. There will be a jersey auction after the game. I can't believe I almost forgot that. So we're going to flesh this out a little bit more in the coming weeks, but just kind of bringing it up here in the sense that if you do not have tickets for this game, I highly recommend getting the tickets for these games this upcoming weekend, because there is not a lot of home games in the Phantoms' future.
It is what it is. We're all familiar with the USHL schedule, but I mean, we'll make up for it at the end of the season.
But again, we'll go into, future episodes, we'll go into more in depth of this, of course. But, after this weekend, the Phantoms only have one home game in November. That is November 24th against the U17s. And then only one home game in December. That is December 15th with the U18s coming to town. I believe that's the weekend. That's like the only time we play the U18s this season. That's the home and home series. I believe that's the only time we'll see the U18s this year. Yeah, and then after that, of course, you'll have the holiday break. The Phantoms will not be back at the Covelli Center until January 5th and 6th. That is followed up by a 6-game road trip over the next 3 weeks after that, and then they will not be back home again until January 27th. So we are talking now, after this weekend, we're talking 5 home games, November, December, to the end of January.
Yeah, so you better get your fill. Yeah. Gotta get your fill of what you can now. So,
and again, we'll be talking about this going down the stretch because I mean, it's not like we'll have a whole lot else to talk about.
Yeah, this is we get into these stretches where there's not a lot of home games. That's where we're probably going to start seeing some interview episodes popping up again, just to give us something to do.
We might have to take a break or for a week or something.
We don't take breaks.
Right. Yeah.
I will also say, this being the first season of me being on here, I didn't realize how much easier it is to talk about the game when you get to see it in person. You do get on Flow Hockey, you get to see everything else. I realized when I was sitting there watching the game this weekend how much easier it was to translate everything I saw into the podcast.
I mean, you see so much more. Nothing against Flow Hockey. I mean, the broadcasts have improved 100 times since I started watching them, but you just miss so much.
And then if you get an opposing team's broadcaster who's not great at his job, that starts to become a distraction after a while, and kind of takes away from what you think you see versus, because you think they're in the arena, they're going to see it better than we are, but then what you're seeing doesn't match up with what they're saying. So
and
it's still getting a lot better.
You wonder about players' last names, like, have I been saying it wrong this whole time? I don't know.
Yes. No, we're not going to talk about the pronunciation guide. We don't want to upset people. So I guess at this point, that's all we're going to subject anyone to this week. We're going to take one more break, and on the other side, we'll wrap up this episode and look ahead to next week. So keep it here one more time with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football. W&M Quality Roofing, LLC is an insured and bonded Mahoning Valley family-owned roofing business. At W&M, we treat your roof and home as if it's our very own. Give us a call at 330-647-0610 for a free estimate. Did you get damage from the latest storm? We also offer financing and specialists for insurance claims. For professional and efficient service, call W&M Quality Roofing at 330-647-0610. If you love history, head over to YouTube and check out Blogging Through History. Hosted by Mineral Ridge High School graduate Chris Mowery, Blogging Through History visits historic sites to explore not only the well-known figures and events of the past, but also compelling stories that maybe you've never heard before. Chris would also like to wish his niece Amira Emsch and the Mineral Ridge Rams the best of luck for a successful 2023 season.
Accidents happen. That's why you need Repair That Glass. Specializing in windshield replacement and all other auto glass, we offer a full range of automotive glass repairs. Our technicians can do everything from minor chip repair to a complete replacement. Your windows don't go up or down, they can fix that too, along with custom glass work and antiques. Repair That Glass is a family-run business for over 40 years. Repair That Glass. Call for your appointment now at 330-534-3192.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
We're back with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio, and that will do it for this episode. As always, we want to thank everyone for tuning in this week. So next week, we will be recapping these two games with the Tri-City Storm at the Covelli Center and previewing the Phantoms 2-game road trip out to Dubuque for a couple games there with the Fighting Saints. So you can hear this show every Wednesday at 5 o'clock on Western Reserve Radio, either on westernreserveradio.com, the Live 365 or TuneIn apps, the Western Reserve Radio Facebook and Twitter pages. It's like I haven't ever done this before. And, of course, the Youngstown Phantoms Facebook page. You can catch this show in podcast format on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also find us on social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And, of course, you can check out the official website of the show, dumpandchasepod.com. All right, gentlemen, so before we get out of here, 2 weekends ago, the Phantoms come out 4 out of 4 points. This past weekend, 5 out of 6 points, 2 games with Tri-City. You know, these are not going to be easy games by any stretch of the imagination. Are we feeling confident about another 4 points coming out of this weekend?
I don't know about confident, but I expect it.
Justin, literally, I was going to say I expect it. I wasn't going to put it quite the way you did, but I have a good feeling that the Phantoms are playing well. They're getting players back. There's no reason not to expect 4 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. I mean, I'm not putting any predictions out there, but I'm at that point where, I'm starting to expect it.
Justin, any potential PTSD from Tony Noreen on the bench at the Covelli Center screaming?
No. I mean, I think he's toned it down, but Dan, I think lock up the wife.
Yeah, my wife refers to him as the handsome man. I never forget the first time he was penguin walking onto the ice, and she stopped mid-sentence and said, "Ooh, that is a handsome man." And she was very upset when he moved on from the Phantoms.
Yeah, and you guys are right there behind the benches too.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why we.
At least it's Noreen and not Kohler.
I won't be at the game Friday, but she's like, I think I'm still going to go, and I know why.
Kohler would trade her for future considerations.
And not anything worthwhile.
$50 and a box of polo shirts.
Say less.
All right.
That didn't fit around the neck.
Yeah. All right. So for my co-hosts, Justin Irwin and Dan Conley, I'm Sam Olmstead. Thanks for joining us on another thrilling episode of the Dump and Chase podcast. We hope you enjoyed the banter, analysis, and maybe even picked up a few new hockey insights along the way. So until next time, stay sharp, hockey fans, and may your shots always find the back of the net. Cheers to the love of the game, and we'll catch you on the next edition of the Dump and Chase podcast. I think the AI had a 3-3 this weekend.
Mill Creek Golf Course has been the Valley's leader for golfing fun since 1928. It features 36 challenging holes designed by the legendary Donald Rossman, was voted a top 30 municipal facility by Golf Week in 2012. The Mill Creek Golf Shop is a certified Callaway Golf custom fitting center and is stocked with your favorite golf apparel and accessories. Mill Creek Golf Course is now booking tee times for this year's golf season. Please call us at 330-740-7112 or online at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Malutic Live is your home for high school sports. We have all the scores on our social media platforms throughout the games. Enjoy our timely updates from local area schools year-round. You won't get the consistency and reliability from anyone else. Our number one priority is servicing our fans and getting them live news as it's happening. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Malutic_Live. And remember, our fans come first.